Hi, I'm Kendra Hesketh. As many of you are probably aware, theater companies are struggling right now because, of course, you can't put on a play without an audience. So it is really exciting to hear about how theater companies are thinking outside the box. And the Virago Collective has created a podcast based on a play that was presented at the Fringe Festival a few years ago. The podcast is called The Tingle. It is super quirky, pretty racy. It is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying listening to them. So, upcoming is an interview with Angela Lavender from the Virago Collective, and she is going to tell you all about how it went from being a play to being a podcast, how you can listen to it, and I hope it really inspires you if you're in one of those theater companies that aren't able to do anything right now. Hi, I'm here once again with Angela Lavender, the co-founding artistic director of the Virago Collective. Thank you so much for joining me again, Angela.
Thanks for having me, Kendra.
I wanted to talk to you about The Tingle, which in 2019 you created and directed The Tingle, a play starring Delphine Licky. I saw it at the Kelowna Fringe Festival. It was musical and fun, and the audience gave it raved reviews and standing ovations. What was your inspiration for the show?
Well, the whole show really came together kind of in a weirdly organic way. And it all started on a night out. No, actually it did. On a Friday night, I was at a 40th birthday party at a bar, and I went to go to the washroom, and I ran into Delphine, who was in another part of a bar doing like a music quiz night. And she was like, hey, do you have any theater stuff going on this year? And I was like, oh, it's kind of slow. What are you thinking? And she's like, you want to do a show together? I was like, yeah, because I think Delphine is freaking amazing. If you've never seen her perform live, you are definitely missing out. So I said, well, why don't we do like a cabaret kind of style show so we could really show off her voice, right? And so her and I just had some back and forth, and I came up with this idea of cabaret show about a woman who, she meets all these guys and just her experience of going through that. So we had a ladies' night where we invited a bunch of women over for some wine and cheese and chats. And actually, one of the ladies suggested the tingle. She said, you know, that feeling you get, that tingle. And I went, yeah, that's what we're describing. So she said it perfectly. Now, I would give her total credit, but we had a rule about this party that we were not allowed to speak about it outside of the four walls we were in and whose stories were whose. So I'm sworn to secrecy. I will not give out that name. And I just gathered so much material. I wanted to write like maybe about 5 stages of, or 5 different types of relationships that I was hearing over and over again from the ladies at the party. So I took some of their stories, I made up some of the stories, I combined some of it using my imagination, and we have the tingle.
That's amazing. And
Thanks.
then, so you had this amazing year actually in 2019 with all of your productions, and then in 2020 there's been pretty much no productions at all. But that didn't stop you because you created a podcast out of the tingle. So
Yeah.
how has it changed from the original format? Like, were you able to expand on it or do different things with it because it's a podcast, or how does that work?
Yes. Different things, but also things that we had in the original show that we weren't allowed to do as well. So for example, the music, um, it's really difficult to get rights for music for podcasts, especially if you're playing the whole song. So I kind of had to scrap the singing part of it. And then I had a suggestion from an amazing local musician, and she said, why don't you reach out to musicians in the community who also might be looking for some work and ask them for a song that you could have in the tingle.
Wow.
So yeah, so in now I just want to say the amazing Nikki Kennedy did our intro song for the Tingle. You will get the Tingle when you listen to it. It's amazing. She's also given us the rights to perform one of her songs, which will be in episode 8 that we are currently recording and working on right now.
How many episodes are you thinking this is going to be? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, so I think we might do 2 more episodes for the season. So that will put us at 10 episodes. And maybe we'll just go from there, see what happens this winter. As part of, I should actually back up and answer your first question there. As part of the Tingle, what I did for the podcast was I took some of the scripted show and I reworked it. And then a lot of it is actually new material that wasn't played for the Friends show. So a lot of what you're hearing will be new topics, things like, the lockdown, how we were all feeling like that, navigating relationships during this unprecedented time. And then I think in the last episode here, in episode 8, one of Dr. Bonnie Henry here in BC and other doctors across Canada have suggested the use of glory holes for. So we talk a little bit about glory holes in this next episode as well. So it's very fresh on topic, kind of discussions of what the character is going through in the moment.
That's awesome and so timely and so perfect. And anybody anywhere all over the world can listen to these podcasts, and I'm going to post down below exactly where you can find them.
Awesome. And we've had listeners Canada, US, the UK, Australia, Germany, and India.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, to take something that would only reach an Okanagan audience and suddenly it's all over the world.
Yeah.
Do you have future plans for the Tingle?
Yes, like you do. I would love to make the Tingle into a movie or a TV episode. So in my mind, I have 10 episodes ready for like a TV show. And what the first season of that Tingle TV show would be the creation of the original Tingle and what Delphine's character has gone through and what it's led her to put on her own production of the Tingle.
Awesome. Awesome. I look so forward to seeing what you're going to come up with for the future of the Tingle and for all of your upcoming productions with the Virago Collective. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And like always, stay safe and stay tuned.